Welcome to Bonkers Britain. Holidaymakers in Cornwall and East Lindsey are being urged to wear face masks on the beach as the warm weather is expected to continue this Easter bank holiday weekend. Local councils are advising people to take extra care when visiting popular coastal resorts as COVID has, quote, not disappeared. As thousands are expected to flock to beaches to bask in the good weather, Cornwall Council have asked people to wear a face covering and exercise social distancing whilst visiting the southern seaside resort. Welcome to hell. It's Easter Sunday, of course, and we are celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ, although he may now be regretting his return. Added to this madness about masks on the beach, a top NHS leader has urged the return of mask wearing across the board and social distancing because, quote, COVID isn't over. Well, I've got news for you, baby. It will never be over, which is why living with the virus and accepting it is all we can do now, as we, of course, do with all other ailments. And I'll take no lectures from NHS chiefs. Our frontline doctors, nurses, porters, cleaners, you name it, are incredible. But the management effectively turned the National Health Service into the National COVID Service for 2 years, ignoring far worse illnesses like cancer. With a waiting list some fear will reach 12 million, the health impact from the NHS reaction to the virus will, in my view, be far worse than the virus itself. And the impact will often be on younger people in the prime of their life, like a young mother, for example, who wasn't able to get that lump checked out and who must now say goodbye to her family. The messaging from COVID zealots is universal and almost from a script. The pandemic is far from over. That is what they say. Not much of a pandemic, is it? One that you've got to keep reminding people is there. Of course it's still there because these people never want it to end. COVID is now an industry. Think of the billions that organisations around the world are making from this potentially dangerous, sure, but largely mild virus. Vaccine manufacturers, mask manufacturers, the producers of PPE equipment, testing companies, ventilation units, the outlets that make those horrific plastic screens for shops and offices, the billions of litres of sanitising fluid, which I think is actually bad for your health. It's all a total money spinner and a racket. And of course, health bosses obsessed with COVID were the ultimate lockdown cheerleaders with their effective pursuit of zero COVID for almost 2 years, which has placed our health systems under such strain and will do for many years to come. And having demanded policies that absolutely smashed the economy and burdened it with what will eventually be another £1 trillion worth of debt, they've actually damaged the cash cow that pays for everything they want. You see, you can't have it both ways. Have your lockdowns if you want to, but as I've said, since March 2020, you will pay the price. It's your bed, baby. You're going to have to lie in it. Oh, but let's just borrow some more money to pay for more COVID measures to protect the NHS. That's what they'll be saying. And bankrupt the nation? And add further to the mountain of debt which we hand to future generations, some of whom haven't even been born yet? How dare you? These are the nice people, are they? The people who want more restrictions, who want you to wear a mask on the beach, who won't let COVID go. Do me a favour. COVID is now an industry, an ideology and a cult. And I have no words for those people wandering around on their own on a nice sunny day like today, wearing a mask outside. They've been drinking the COVID Kool-Aid and they've been brainwashed. I'm not sure there's much hope for them. At least it's easier now to see who the numpties are. And this was the problem with 3 weeks to flatten the curve. If you comply to make it end, your compliance means it never will. When we agreed to these unprecedented and experimental measures of shutting down the economy and locking healthy people at home, we didn't realise what we were relinquishing. We didn't realise we were opening Pandora's box and allowing technocrats and tunnel vision public health officials to get their foot in the door of our daily lives. We didn't realise we were giving up the very essence of a free society. If you're being told to wear masks and socially distance, in this glorious weather, and with a variant of COVID in Omicron that's milder than a pint of John Smith's with a lemonade top, then just think what draconian instructions will await us in the winter months. And as usual, the politicians that set these bizarre rules don't follow them. Take a look at this. Oh dear, Nicola Sturgeon reported to the police over COVID law violation. She wasn't wearing a mask. The halo has slipped for Mrs. Sturgeon, and the mask by the looks of it. Now, I would love nothing more than to be able to talk about something else. If I'm honest, it's Easter, and I'd just love to show you some bunny rabbit videos like this one. Gorgeous stuff, but I'm hopping mad about the fact that we're still being dictated to, still hearing the siren calls for more economically and societally damaging social controls. An entire generation of politicians, public servants, so-called health officials, and some brainwashed members of the public don't want this to end. Of course, most of the media don't want it to end either. It's clear to me that the cure was worse than the illness itself, and it didn't work anyway. But still, the madness continues. Have we learnt nothing? Clearly not. Show me one country in the world that didn't lock down, that didn't socially distance, that didn't mask, which has a disproportionately high COVID death toll. It doesn't exist. So why is there such an appetite for masks and distancing and lockdowns? Because we've learnt over the last 2 years, and of course history has taught us the same, that some people just love control. They love telling people what to do. Democracy and freedom, as we've discovered, are precious and fragile things for which we must fight. If you accept masks on the beach in April, where does this end? Do you want to live like this forever? Living under state control, exposed to the latest wave of public health policy? I'm not sure you do, judging by the brilliant pictures of revelry from this weekend. Take a look at this story in the Mail. A very good Friday. Revellers hit the town as they enjoy sunny 4-day weekend. But some Easter bunnies will have sore heads today. Good luck to them. Having a brilliant time, and rightly so, having been caged on and off for 2 years like calves in a pen. Let's make this weekend, the Easter bank holiday, a test case for a return to unadulterated human interaction, to connection, to freedom, to humanity, to fun, to risk, to danger, to joy. Remember that? Joy? Choose life this Easter. Now, back to those bunny videos. A very happy Easter to one and all.